The Secretary's desk has just one announcement at this time. Please make note of the updated Session 3 agenda up on the screens. I repeat, please make note of the updated Session 3 agenda up on the screens. Thank you.
All right, well, good afternoon, Iowa FFA. If we're excited for Session 3, can I get in? Oh, yeah. If we're sad that this is the second to last session of this year's state conference, can I get an oh, no? But if you're excited to have a really lit pre-session and have some fun up here on stage, can I get in? Oh, yeah. All right, so make some noise if you like some competition here in the room. All right, so we're about to have a pretty cool competition ourselves here. And the winner of this competition is going to get a free convention t-shirt. If you'd like some FFA swag, make some noise. All right, so what we're going to be doing is we are going to be having a scavenger hunt. So I am going to list something that you need to bring to the FFA advisor's left shoe. Go! All right, let's give a round of applause for everyone that made that attempt right here. Yep, this is a left shoe indeed. Now, what's your name, man?
Tristan Levy.
And what is your ag teacher's name?
Tom Murray.
And does your ag teacher's shoe smell a little bit?
I'm not going to smell it, but I'm probably guessing it does.
All right, very good. Now stay up here. All right, so our next object that you have to get and race up to the stage as fast as you can is an FFA jacket that does not belong to your chapter. Ready? Go! Awesome job, everyone. Let's give them a round of applause. All right, and what is your name?
Caitlin Bean.
Caitlin Bean. And what jacket did you steal?
Beckman Catholics.
Can Beckman Catholics make some noise? All right, so our next object is actually a person. So, on Go, we are going to find National Officer Luke O'Leary, and the first one to bring him to the stage, he's the one with the blank jacket. Be on the search for him. I think he's in here. Oh, shoot. No. Next, I guess he's not in here right now. How about this? What if you find a past Iowa FFA state officer and bring them to the stage? All right, and so what's your name, man?
Andrew Babcock.
And is this your sister? And who are you?
I'm Allie Babcock.
Awesome, very good. Let's give some round of applause for the Babcocks over here. Okay, you go ahead. All right, so our next object that we are going to get is a sock from somebody not from your chapter. Ready, go! Very good. All right, so what is your name?
Mara Casenza.
Mara. Okay, and whose sock is this?
I have no idea. That kid right there.
Oh, very good. Thank you for contributing your sock. Also, we have a very special appearance. We found National Officer Luke O'Leary. What's your name?
Emily Wagner.
Emily Wagner. Congratulations. My name's Luke O'Leary. Awesome job, everyone. Okay, so our final thing that we are going to get, this one's going to be a bonus round. So, we're going to have the first 5 participants up here that can bring the weirdest thing inside of your FFA jacket. Ready, go! Right here. Awesome. We got 2, we got 3, we got 4, 5. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's not All right, so our top 5 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. Sorry for everyone else. Let's give them a round of applause. All right, let's explore real fast what we had in our jacket. What do you have?
A Proficiency Award and Snapchat business card.
Snapchat business cards. Very good. What about you?
I have my friend Emily's graduation invite.
Oh, congratulations, Emily. Let's give a round of applause for Emily. Yeah. High school's hard, I know.
A Bible.
Let's make some noise for Jesus.
A half-eaten pretzel.
Let's make some noise for some good food. Everybody loves food.
A duck call.
All right, if you're a duck hunter in the room, let's make some noise. Rubber pig. We're in Iowa. I expected that one. Let's make some noise for the pig industry here in Iowa. All right, so can we get all our winners back over here? So we have just about 10 participants here on this stage that have won the scavenger hunt, but we only have 1 t-shirt to give away. So you know what that means, Iowa FFA. We've got to have a dance-off. Would you like a good dance-off? All right, so on go, we are going to have them dance their heart out, and we're going to vote to see who gets this t-shirt. Are you ready? Get on your feet and make some noise for our dancers over here. Ready? 3, 2, 1. So whenever I put my hand over one of these contestants, you gotta make some noise, and our winner will get this free t-shirt. All right, let's do right here, our friend Andrew. We can do better than that, Caitlin. And let's make some noise for our friend Caitlin. I think Caitlin's in the lead right here. Next we have Tristan. Oh, it only gets better. All right, now we have Mara. Oh, yeah. Mara's in the lead right now. Now we have Megan. Oh, man. Megan's now in the lead. Now we have our pretzel friend over here. What's your name? Cameron. There we go. All right, and we have Chase. Let's go. Come on. And we have Camilla. Yes. Make some noise for Camilla. I believe in you. And what's your name?
Ellie.
Let's make some noise for Ellie. And finally, we have Kelsey. All right, and I believe our winner will be Megan. Let's make some noise for Megan. All right, let's give a round of applause for all our participants and the great job they did showing their dance moves. Now, even though these might have not been the best dance moves in the world, we're about to have a couple people up here to do a little Cupid Shuffle. Y'all ready to do a Cupid Shuffle?
Time for a change. News down, down, do your dance. We got a brand new dance. Down, do your dance, do your dance. Down, swing on that dance, do your dance. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. They say I'm a rapper, and I say no. They say what you doing, trying to do somebody cold. I just let the music come from my soul, so all of my people can stay on the floor. They got a brand new dance. You gotta move your muscle. A brand new dance. It's called a Cupid Shuffle. It don't matter if you're young or you're old. Here we go. We gon' show you how it goes. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Knock kick, knock kick, knock kick, knock kick. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. Now you see what I'm talking about. I represent for the dirty South, where we're known for swinging now. King of swing out, baby. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. Let me see you do the Cupid Shuffle, the Cupid Shuffle, the Cupid Shuffle, the Cupid Shuffle. Yourself, walk it by yourself. To the right, to the right, to the right, the right, the right, the left, to the left, to the left, the left, the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick, now walk it by yourself. Walk it by yourself and do the Cupid Shuffle. Now let me see you do the Cupid Shuffle. Now let me see you do the. It's your boy Cupid, C-U-P, the I-D. Mr. Fat on the track, got another getting deep. Can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I got the horses in the bag, horse
pockets attached. Head is matted black, got the bushes black to match. Riding on a horse, ha, you can whip your Porsche. I been in the valley, you ain't been up off that porch. Now, can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Riding on a tractor, lean all in my blood. Cheated on my baby, you can go and ask her. My life is a movie, bull riding in boots. Cowboy hat from Gucci, Wrangler on my booty. Can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Can't nobody tell me.
Yeah, I got it, bro. Oh, okay.
The secretary's desk has some announcements at this time. All first and second place proficiency winners need to please find their seats. Please remember to turn off all cell phones and no laser pointers are permitted. In addition, all sponsors please report to the seating desk located near the stage to find your proper seating. Please make note of the updated Session 3 agenda up on the screens. I repeat, please make note of the updated Session 3 agenda up on the screens. Thank you.
West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads. All my memories gather round her, miner's lady, stranger to blue water. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads.
FFA members, advisors, parents, and guests, our 2018-2019 Iowa FFA officers. From the FFA chapter, our South Central State Vice President, Chandler Donner. From the GTRA FFA chapter, our South Northwest State Vice President, Cole Ryman. From the FFA chapter, our Southeast State Vice President, Laken Morrison. From the Alumni FFA chapter, our North Central State Vice President, Alexis Marty. From the North Tame FFA chapter, our Northeast State Vice President, Jake Ross. From the Green County FFA chapter, our Southeast State Vice President, Gwen Black. From the East Buchanan FFA chapter, our state reporter, Jody Moses. From the Akron Westfield FFA chapter, our state secretary, Laken Mullinix. From the Power FFA chapter, our state president, Chase Rinnegar. And our state advisor, Mr. Kent Cipher. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2018-2019 Iowa FFA officer team.
The convention hall will come to order. we are now holding the third session of the 91st Iowa FFA Leadership Conference. Mr. Vice President, are all officers at their stations?
I shall call the roll of officers, determine if they're at their stations, and report back to you, Mr. President. The Sentinel.
Station by the door.
Your duties there?
Through this door pass many friends of the FFA. It is my duty to see that the door is open to our friends at all times and that they are welcome. I care for the meeting room and paraphernalia. I strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the president in maintaining order.
The reporter.
The reporter is stationed by the flag.
Why by the flag?
As the flag covers the United States of America, so I strive to inform the people in order that every man, woman, and child may know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the state of Alaska to the Virgin Islands and from the state of Maine to Hawaii.
The treasurer.
Stationed at the emblem of Washington.
Your duties there.
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements, just as Washington kept his farm accounts, carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among the members and strive to build up our financial standing through savings and investments. George Washington was better able to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The secretary.
Stationed by the ear of corn.
Your duties there?
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The advisor.
Here by the owl.
Why stationed by the owl?
The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I'm asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. I hope that my advice is based off true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Mr. Vice President, why do you keep a plow at your station?
The plow is a symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much. My duties require me to assist at all times in the directing the work of our organization. I preside over meetings in the absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the president so stationed?
The rising sun is a token of a new era in agriculture. If we will follow the leadership of our president, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Mr. President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The secretary will call the roll of members.
I am proud to announce that at this, the third general session of the 91st Iowa FFA Leadership Conference, we have a record-breaking attendance of 6,266 members, advisors, and guests present from 236 chapters. Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. FFA members, why are we here? To practice brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, and develop those qualities of leadership which an FFA membership possess. May we accomplish our purposes. I now declare the third general session of the 91st Iowa FFA Leadership Conference duly open for the transaction of business or attention to any matters which may properly be presented. Hilton Magic. Most would describe the feeling when Iowa State makes a last-minute buzzer beater for a Cyclone victory. That feeling is in the air today as you walk into this Coliseum. And the Hilton Magic is here and just as evident with these over 6,000 FFA members showing their passion and excitement for all that we do. This session is filled with members' dedication of their supervised agricultural experiences. We will award our top 10 Greenhand quiz participants. We will be moved by our state officers, and we'll hear from the national FFA president, Luke O'Leary. FFA members, let's show off that magic as we kick off the third general session of the 91st Iowa FFA Leadership Conference. Your third session chairs Well, they make it known every day that Northeast is beast. And they are not afraid to tell you it every day. Our first is a Simmental cattle breeder and a proud member of Alpha Gamma Rho fraternity. This chair is often found regularly yelling roll clones and cheering on his Iowa State Cyclones. Your second chair is a Holstein enthusiast and a semi-professional photographer who may only stand a prestigious 5'5", but her sass stands at a much taller stature. While they are very different in their interests, they are united by their dedication to the Blue Jackets and the people who wear them. Let's get loud and proud for our third session chairs, Northeast State Vice President Jay Kaloss and your state reporter, Jody Mauser.
Hey, Jody, I have some beef to settle with you.
Oh, really? I have an idea about what this is, and let's just say it'd be utterly embarrassing if you were to say it.
Well, you know those dairy cattle you love so much? I think they're lacking some of the essential characteristics it takes to be a bovine.
Oh, really? Well, a little birdie told me that 3 of the retiring addresses we'll be hearing from our very own state officers would not be possible without a tall glass of 2% milk.
What you're forgetting about, though, Jody, is just before that milk, they had a big serving of hamburger, just like our national president does before each one of his keynote addresses. That's why he'll be primed and ready to go tonight.
Well, we could sure debate this for hours, but now we are ready. FFA members, advisors, and guests, get ready for the 3rd general session of the 91st Iowa FFA Leadership Conference. In this session, we will highlight members who have taken their just one step to further develop their skills in the FFA.
In this session, we will also be presenting our Excellence in Agriculture Education Program winners and highlighting those individuals that will be representing Iowa in our nation's capital this summer. In this session, we will also be showcasing how we, as FFA members, can take our just one step to furthering our agricultural passions and being a part of something much bigger than ourselves. Iowa FFA, let's get amped as we kick off the 3rd general session of the 91st Iowa FFA Leadership Conference. We would now like to recognize our 3rd session sponsor, CHS. Just as CHS sees the values in shared success and high integrity, they also see the value FFA has in changing students' lives. They also see the value of shaping high-quality leaders and innovators into the next generation of agriculturalists. As the partnership continues to grow, the Iowa FFA is proud to have CHS as a part of our support system. Mr. Emerson is here today to represent CHS. Mr. Emerson, on behalf of the Iowa FFA Association and its over 15,400 members, please accept this conference gift as a token of our appreciation. I like the Simmental females, 4-1-2-3. This class has to start off with our
Jake,
winner.
What are you doing? This isn't a show or a judging contest. Plus, you aren't even talking udder structure and functionality enough in that set of reasons.
Watch your sass, young lady. I have a big contest this weekend and I need to be ready. So if you excuse me, I'm gonna get back to it.
Well, that was awkward. As he goes back in preps, we are now going to recognize some outstanding test takers. These FFA members recently participated in the Greenhand quiz, where they were tested on their FFA knowledge. Will the Secretary's desk please read off the name of this year's Greenhand quiz winners?
The Greenhand quiz is possible with the support from Milt Luckstead Family and Hometown Engraving. The top 10 individuals in this year's Greenhand quiz are in 10th place, Lucy Martin. Ninth place, Maddie Lee. 8th place, Hunter Thilgis. 7th, Alexandra Long. 6th, Pearson Westfall. 5th, Ellie Cloyd. 4th, Gabrielle Jesse. 3rd, Jasmine Hoger. The second place winner in the Greenhand quiz is Sadie Fredericks. And first place goes to Hannah Bedwell. Let's give these Greenhands a round of applause for all their hard work.
The Secretary's desk has a quick announcement at this time. Will the winners of the Organic Ag Award please go backstage? That is Michael Hullub and Faith Palmer. Thank you.
I've been friends with Laken since 2nd grade, and anybody who has ever met her knows that she will do anything she can to help out. When something needs to get done, she takes it up and makes sure it gets done. She's the person you can always count on to have good advice or ideas, and she will go out of her way to meet new people.
The first two things I learned about Laken were that she loves Culver's and she loves the FFA just a little bit more. Since then, I've come to not only know her as my kind-hearted, hard-working, sushi-loving best friend, but also as a dependable, humble, and caring state officer who you have all gotten to know over the last year as well.
Let me tell you a little something about my big sister Laken. First of all, she loves pickles. One thing that she has taught me is to always reach my goals. Laken is someone that I want to grow up and be like. We have the best sleepovers in Maine.
Our friend
and my sister,
Laken Mullinix.
Summertime as a kid was the absolute best. Growing up in the small town of Akron, most of my friends spent their summers the way I did mine, on the softball field. What's better than a night spent on the ball diamond, running the bases, sliding through the dirt, and celebrating with a DQ blizzard afterwards? Growing up in a town with a very successful softball team, it just seemed like everybody played. What would you do if you didn't? So summer after summer, I played from a league in Sioux City to traveling all over the area for tournaments. As I grew older, I could see my interest in the sport fading, and my little sister Elena quickly catching up. She would fill in on our softball team, batting and fielding just as well as the girls who were 2 years older than her. She lived and breathed the sport, wanting nothing more than a summer spent on the ball diamond. Well, I began wishing I could spend my time elsewhere. The summer after 5th grade, I was at the pool with one of my only friends who wasn't in softball. I had practice later that afternoon, but I was swimming before I had to go. But since my mom was out of town and I was all by myself, and I thought I was really clever in 5th grade, I decided to skip softball practice. I didn't plan on telling my parents. I figured I'd had showered by the time my mom was home, and she never had to know. So around 5 o'clock, I snuck through the side door of my house, only to be greeted by my mom. As it turns out, she had gotten home early and came to softball practice to pick me up. I wasn't there. She sat me down and we had a long talk about why I skipped, and she told me that I didn't have to play softball anymore if I didn't want to. Though I chose to continue playing, the seasons began to drag on. By the end of the summer after 7th grade, I hated almost every minute I was playing. I rarely got on base, I was more scared of a line drive than willing to field it, and the thought of sliding through the dirt on a 90-degree day disgusted me. At that point, I knew my time on the field was over. I had accepted that I would never be good at softball if my heart wasn't in it. I was wasting my time on something that I didn't want to take any farther with me. I had finally come to the realization that if I wanted to find what I was good at, I needed to take a step back from softball and move on. So in high school, I was the kid that went out for everything. Band, choir, volleyball, basketball, speech, drama, FFA, and everything in between. During my freshman year, I, and every other Greenhand ever, memorized the FFA Creed. Around the time that I had finished learning the creed, a woman was touring our town from Vietnam, and as a part of her tour, she came to see our ag program. My ag teacher presented me with the opportunity to give the creed to this woman. Though I was really unsure of myself, super nervous, and pretty sure I'd forget every word after I believe, I decided to take the opportunity. So there I stood, in front of the whole class, with this woman right in the front row. And I began with the words that everybody knows. I believe in the future of agriculture. As I continued to speak, I watched this woman's face fill with wonder. By the time I was finished, she told me how proud she was of me and how moved she was by my speech. Though, as a woman in her 50s who had lived in Vietnam her whole life, I didn't think the FFA Creed would mean much to her. This was the first time I realized that my voice could have an impact. Since I didn't play sports anymore, I worked most afternoons if I wasn't at rehearsal, and since my friends were still in sports, I had to wait until at least 5:30 to see them. Though I thought my social life would be over when I stopped doing the same activities as my friends, it wasn't. I still came to their games as much as possible, and they still supported me in my contests, though none of them were in FFA. Though we weren't in the same activities, they still celebrated my successes. And after I gave the speech at our high school graduation, we walked out of the school for the last time together. You see, you can't be truly happy until you are doing the things that make you happy. You can't succeed in your passions until you let go of your distractions. Don't be a jack of all trades. Be a master of one. When you get busy and overwhelmed, take a step back. Why are you so stressed out? Are you filling your schedule with things you don't genuinely enjoy? Are you wasting your time on activities that you're only doing because your friends are doing them? Iowa FFA, it is time to stop wasting time on distractions and begin pursuing your passions.
If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah. If you're tossing and you're turning and you just can't fall asleep, I'll sing a song beside you. And if you ever forget how much you really mean to me, every day I will remind you. Oh, find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends.
It is now time to recognize more Proficiency Award winners for their outstanding supervised agricultural experience projects. The following awards were all made possible with support from our sponsors through the Iowa FFA Foundation.
Hunter Holdgrafer of the Easton Valley FFA chapter at Preston is the first place winner in the area of fiber oil crop production, made possible by the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soybean Checkoff. Holdgrafer has increased his acres of soybeans from 17 acres in 2016 to 36 acres in 2018. He has increased his yields from 66.7 to 69.2 bushels per acre, and his marketing skills have increased his average price record per bushel from 9.84 to 10.83 in 2018. After high school, Holdgrafer plans to attend Iowa State University to major in agriculture studies and then return to the home family farm. The second place winner is Luke Harrington of the Nashua Plainfield FFA chapter.
Megan Van Wy of the West Line FFA chapter at Inwood is the first place winner in the area of food science and technology, sponsored by Hy-Vee Incorporated. Megan has invested 275 working hours at Dutchland Frozen Food and Wise Choice Fundraising with her family. Megan taste tests products, provides feedback on how to improve flavor appearance, and researches how to develop new products that are gluten-free. After graduation, Megan plans to attend South Dakota State University to pursue a degree. The runner-up in this area is Whitney Clemens of the Cascade FFA chapter.
Michael Drosler of the Cascade FFA chapter is the winner in the area of forage production, made possible by support from the Iowa FFA Foundation. For his SAE, Michael works on his family's custom forage chopping operation. Michael focuses on the harvesting, transporting, and storing of forages, as well as equipment maintenance and field preparations. After high school, Michael's goal is to enter the CNC machining field and plans to return to the family operation. The second place winner is Carson Lambert of the Central Plains FFA chapter at Gowrie.
In the area of forest management and products, sponsored by Mintex Citrus Incorporated, our winner is Brendan Loveston of the Decorah FFA chapter. Brendan owns and operates a backcountry firewood business where he supplies his community and 2 local campgrounds with firewood. Following high school, Brendan wants to continue and expand his business. Levi Lauer of the North Fayette Valley at West Union FFA chapter placed second.
Emily Van Riggenmorter of the West Lyon FFA chapter at Inwood is the winner in the area of fruit production, sponsored by Four Seasons Fundraising. Emily rents 18 grapevines from her father to raise 3 different types of grapes. Emily attributes her increased yield on proper pruning, adequate fertilization, and controlling fungus and insects. After graduation, Emily plans to attend college and use her knowledge of fruit production as a pastry chef.
that she raises, shows, and sells. She has earned $7,749 from her goat production, which is a 36% profit margin. She attributes her SAE for her skills in animal husbandry and performance. After high school, Beckman plans to continue her education. The second place winner is Lydia Martins of the Wapsie Valley FFA chapter at Fairbank.
Our winner in the area of grain production entrepreneurship, sponsored by the Iowa Crop Investment Association, is Kaya Thiessen of the Central Lyon FFA chapter at Rock Rapids. Kaya's project involved the production of corn that she developed into an 8-acre test plot for Kruger seed. Kaya demonstrated exceptional skills such as record keeping, communication, and accountability. Austin Cook from the North Fayette Valley FFA chapter at West Union was second in this area.
In the area of grain production placement, sponsored by Heartland Co-op, our winner is Carson Brinks from the South Winneshiek FFA chapter at Kalmar. Carson put in over 4,000 hours on his family farm throughout his project. Brinks also serves as his chapter president and has taken many leadership roles in high school. He plans to attend the University of Wisconsin-Platteville to study mechanical engineering with an end goal of taking over the family farm. Our runner-up in this area is Blake Meyer of the West Lyon FFA chapter.
The winner in the area of home and community development, made possible by support from the Iowa FFA Foundation, is Corey Jack of the Newton FFA chapter. Corey's SAE of volunteering as an EMT has pushed her to pursue a career in the medical field. With the skills she has learned to do, she is better able to live to serve later on in life. Our runner-up is Allison Bethel of the Central Plains FFA chapter at Gowrie.
Brady Williams of the Brokaw FFA chapter at Clarinda is the winner of Landscape Management, made possible by support from the Iowa FFA Foundation. Williams has invested over 738 hours managing the city park and the local baseball fields. Brady has obtained skills such as time management, record keeping, and communication. Brady plans to attend Southwest Community College, majoring in agricultural engineering, and plans to transfer to Iowa State. Our runner-up in this area is Erica Meyer of the West Lyon FFA chapter at Inwood.
In the area of nursery operations, made possible by support from the Iowa FFA Foundation, our winner is Zachary Reese of the Cascade FFA chapter. Reese works with Shakamo Landscaping. He has worked over 400 hours this past year, building retaining walls, trimming and planting trees, and landscaping areas for various clients in their landscaping business. Our runner-up winner is Pauline Clark of the North Fayette Valley FFA chapter at West Union.
Faith Palmer from the Little Switzerland FFA at Waukon is the winner in the area of organic agriculture, sponsored by J. Ward Organics LLC. She put nearly 2,500 hours of work into the project and has experienced year after years of revenue growth. Faith has gained skills in record keeping, facility maintenance, and health and safety. Second place is awarded to Michael Hollub from the Northland FFA chapter at Troy Mills. The previous awards were all made possible with support from our sponsors through the Iowa FFA Foundation. Let's congratulate these Proficiency Award winners one more time.
We scratched our names in that oak tree, 'cause I loved you and you loved me. Jagged little heart, so the whole town knew it, carved into the bark with an arrow through it. Well, I came out here to see it one more time.
In 1929, 14-year-old Ferris George rode the train from Kelly, Iowa to Kansas City, Missouri for the second annual National Future Farmers of America Convention. He came home so inspired that he continued to support FFA throughout his lifetime. Upon his death in 1991, the United Boone FFA Alumni created the Rising Star Award in honor of Ferris. Throughout the 28 years this award has been presented, finalists have included 21 future state officers, 7 future ag educators, 2 future state presidents, and a national officer. The 6 sophomore members here today are anxiously awaiting to hear the announcement of who will become the next Rising Star.
The 2019 District Rising Star finalists are, from the North Central District, Drew Stott from the Charles City FFA chapter. From the Northeast District, Callie Peterson from the Midland FFA chapter at Wyoming. From Northwest, Emma K. McLean from the Clay Central Everly FFA chapter. Of the South Central District, Canyon Huntington from the East Union FFA. From the Southeast District, Lindsley Laughlin from the West Liberty FFA chapter. And from the Southwest District, Garrett Green from the Bedford FFA chapter. The 2019 Iowa FFA Rising Star is Emma K. McLean from the Clay Central Everly FFA chapter. Emma K. has been very involved in her FFA chapter and community. Her supervised agricultural experience is based on a research experience aimed to discover if Roundup negatively impacts butterfly populations. Emma K. has competed at 2 local and state science fairs, as well as traveling to Indianapolis to compete at nationals. Emma K.'s FFA experience has given her many opportunities to grow and develop life skills. As a Greenhand, she competed at the state level in Crete speaking and is currently serving as her chapter secretary. The judges were very impressed by her knowledge of her SAE project and her involvement in the FFA program. Let's congratulate Emma K. one more time for being selected as the 2019 Rising Star, sponsored by the United Boone FFA Alumni.
The WHO Public Relations Award highlights chapters who have done an outstanding job in using their voice to tell the story of agriculture in our organization by being an advocate for their own FFA chapter. Here today to present the WHO Public Relations Award is radio show host Mr. Doug Cooper.
The recipients of this year's WHO Public Relations Awards are ACGC at Guthrie Center, AgriPower at Eddyville, Akron Westfield, Benton Community at Van Horn, CAM at Anita, Central Trail, East Buchanan, East Sac, Linmar at Marion, Mid Prairie at Wellman, North Fayette Valley at West Union, Red Oak, Roland Story FFA, Vinton Shellsburg, Wapsie Valley, and Washington FFA. Let's congratulate the recipients of the WHO Public Relations Award one more time.
Mr. Cooper, on behalf of the Iowa FFA Association and more than 15,400 students, we would like to thank you and the WHO Public Relations Award for sponsoring this event. Please accept this token of our appreciation.
Thank you so much.
Please give Mr. Cooper another round of applause.
So as state officers, we have some pretty long car rides. Say some pretty dumb stuff on these car rides.
Yeah, definitely.
Here are a couple.
Cole! Cole! What? I just thought of something. What'd you think of? I forgot.
I want it that way.
Oh, tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache.
How Silva, away!
Ain't nothing but a mistake.
If vampires can't be seen in mirrors, and telescopes are made out of mirrors, how are we supposed to know if we're about to get attacked by space vampires?
I don't ever want to hear you say, I want it that way.
Now, more than ever, it is crucial to be sharing the story of agriculture and agricultural education. The Iowa Farmer Today recognizes FFA chapters who do an outstanding job of informing the public in regard to the opportunities FFA has to offer. Representing the Iowa Farmer Today is Mr. Gene Lute. Will the Secretary's desk please announce the winners of this year's Iowa Farmer Today?
The chapters receiving honorable mention in the Iowa Farmer Today Journalism Award are North Fayette Valley at West Union. The third place chapter is the ACGC FFA chapter at Guthrie Center. Your state runner-up is AgriPower at Eddyville. And the winner of the Iowa Farmer Today Journalism Award is Central Lyon at Rock Rapids. Let's congratulate these chapters for all their hard work.
Mr. Lute, on behalf of the Iowa FFA Association and its nearly 15,400 members, thank you for the support the Iowa Farmer Today Journalism Award has on our members. Please accept this conference gift as a token of our appreciation. Iowa FFA, put your hands together one more time for Mr. Gene Lute.
Well, Jody, it looks like we have some more questions to answer here. Our first question comes from Levi at North Tama. If you could change your name to anything, what would it be? Well, Levi, I'm going to have to go with Justin. Doesn't get any more manly than that.
I had a question from Megan up at Turkey Valley. She wants to know if pineapple belongs on pizza. Yep, always does.
Sometimes. All right, next question comes from Kurt from LaPorte Dizer. What is your favorite movie? Well, I'm going to have to say it depends on the mood. The first one being 8 Seconds. Gotta love Lane Frost. But when the mood gets kind of emotional, I'm going to say it. I'm a Notebook kind of guy. Nicholas Sparks.
Dylan from East Buchanan wants to know what my favorite part about Iowa is. Definitely the Hawkeyes.
The Cyclones.
Nope. Go Hawks!
Cyclones.
Go Hawks!
FFA chapters and members across the state are showing every day what it is truly to be living to serve. The next group on stage has gone above and beyond in feeding those in need. This year's Meals from the Heartland is recognizing chapters that have organized meals packaging events. These chapters submitted videos that show the impact they are having on the fight to end hunger. The finalists have been selected and are awaiting to hear who this year's Hunger Champions will be. Here to present this award is Georgie Filber, representing Meals from the Heartland. Without further ado, let's meet this year's Hunger Champion finalists.
this year's Hunger Champion finalists are Audubon, Waverly Shell Rock, West Lyon at Inwood. Put your hands together for these chapters who demonstrate what it truly takes to be living to serve. In third place is the West Lyon FFA chapter. In second place is the Waverly Shell Rock FFA chapter. And your 2019 Hunger Champion is the Audubon FFA. Let's congratulate our 2019 Meals from the Heartland Hunger Champions once again.
Please help me in welcoming to the podium Georgie Filber, representing Meals from the Heartland.
Congratulations to Audubon, Waverly Shell Rock, and West Lyon for truly being Hunger Champions. To see the full videos of all three finalists, please visit Meals from the Heartland YouTube channel. Because of their hard work and the generosity of our prize package sponsors, Blaze Pizza, Casey's, Chick-fil-A, Corteva, the Escape Rooms, Hampton Inn and Suites, Come and Go, Pole Position Raceway, Quick Trip, Sky Zone, and of course, Zombie Burger, we're able to put together the very first Hunger Champions Challenge. To the finalists and all the other chapters that have partnered with us to feed the hungry, we would like to say that we are so proud of you. You are difference makers, you are world changers, and you are lifesavers. You are champions for the hungry. From Meals from the Heartland and the thousands and thousands of children you have fed over the years, thank you. These three FFA chapters, along with all the others that have partnered with Meals from the Heartland, have a passion to feed the hungry. But more than a passion, they have a conviction, and that conviction leads to action. Their action leads to full bellies, brighter minds, and hearts filled with hope across the globe. This all started with just one, Mr. Scott Johnson. He embraced our mission of empowering people to save the starving back in 2012. The first year, you packaged 280,000 meals with the goal of packaging 1 million more in the years to come. Since then, you've packaged over 1.5 million meals at state convention alone. To recognize this accomplishment, we will also be presenting C.D. Brenniger with an award and officially welcoming the Iowa FFA into our Million Meal Club. But state convention in 2012 was really just the beginning. Local FFA chapters across the state have answered the call and have packaged over 2 million more meals. Little did we know that in 6 short years, the Iowa FFA would package more meals than people living in the state of Iowa at 3.6 million. These 3 students on the stage show that it truly takes just one to shoulder the cause and carry the torch for those who cannot carry it themselves. One will quickly turn to 3, and soon entire high schools in small town Iowa are packaging thousands upon thousands of meals. In closing, we invite all of you to join us as we press towards our goal of packaging 1 million meals next school year with the Iowa FFA. If anyone can rise to this challenge, we know that it is the Iowa FFA. All it takes is just one student to carry the cause, just one dime to fund a meal. Will you be the one? Will you be the next Hunger Champion? We hope so.
Mr. Filbert, on behalf of the Iowa FFA Association and our over 15,400 members, we'd like to thank you and the Meals from the Heartland for showing us what it truly means to live to serve. Please accept this token of our appreciation.
Thank you so much.
If you love somebody, better tell them why they're here, 'cause they just may run away from you. You'll never know quite when. Well, can you feel it? Now it's coming back. We can steal it. If we bridge this gap, I can see you through the curtains of the waterfall. When I lost it, yeah, you held my hand, but I tossed it. Didn't understand you.
The Secretary's Desk has a few announcements at this time. If you have a treasurer or reporter's book, please report to the convention office to pick that up. Also, if you are a Stars Over Iowa recipient, please pick up your record book in the convention office as well. Will Sandra Young please report to the Secretary's Desk? Sandra Young. Thank you.
Seven years ago, I met Lane in the hallway of our middle school. Since then, we've tackled homecoming court, bonfire shenanigans, and handling our FFA chapter's officers together. Lane is full of positivity, can always put a smile on someone's face, and pursues what he is passionate about. Watching him get more involved in the organization he loves, gaining new experiences, and becoming a better leader makes me so proud to call him my friend.
I've known Lane my whole life, and he's always had a few solid traits. Whether it be making people laugh or smile, or charming the ladies, he's always had a great way with words, and he has put them to great use in the Iowa FFA. But now it's time for us to say farewell and for him to move on to bigger and better endeavors in his life. Without further ado,
Our great friend,
and your 2018-2019 Southeast State Vice President, Lane Morrison.
There we go.
Nope. Nope. All right. How many of us have an older sibling? Over the years, I've come to realize that having an older sister has its ups and downs. One of the upsides of having an older sister was that I knew I could get away with just about anything my sister couldn't. I could bat my eyes at my parents, and they would fall apart in my hands because I knew I was their favorite child. Sorry, sissy. I also knew that there were some downsides with having an older sister. One of the downsides was that I knew I had to play dress up with her all the time. Part of the reason she felt the need to do this was because we were both in dancing, so for me, it was just another recital. I also knew that I could do just about anything she wanted because it's all fun and games for me. That includes getting put in dresses and getting makeovers on a regular basis. Even though my sister dressed me up and put makeup on me, I can honestly say those times I had with my sister were some of the most fun times I've ever had. From going to softball games, to family vacations, and even times just chilling at home, those are the times I'll remember. Fast forward 10 years, and I traded my tap shoes for football cleats,
and started my junior football season at EBF High School. Just like any other day, we were stretching out on the football field, throwing the ball around, and messing around a little bit. After Coach blew the whistle, we were off to our respective positions on the practice field. Wide receivers and running backs by the shed, quarterbacks in the middle of the field, and linemen all the way down by the lineman chute. Being a receiver my whole life, I knew what these drills consisted of, so I volunteered to be the first one to go. After a little smack talk with my friends, I finally convinced my friend Andrew to be the first one to go against me. Just like usual, we lined up on the line, inside foot on the line of scrimmage, hands ready, and waited for our quarterback to say the cadence. After he said the words red, set, go, we shot off the line, going as hard as we could, making the most out of that one play. After a few steps, I turned towards the sideline, caught the ball, and headed up towards Andrew. After I headed towards Andrew, I had a chilled feeling run over me as I knew something was wrong. Not thinking much of it, I took a few more steps and smack. Contact was made, and there I lay on the ground in extraordinary pain. I knew that there was a hospital visit in my future. Sure enough, my football coach came over, called my parents to take me to the hospital. Later on, I found out that I tore my ACL and meniscus all in one go around. My doctor told me I should get surgery right then and there, right after the next game, and not play the rest of the season. But I had the determination to keep going and keep pushing through the season. Believe it or not, the next year during my senior season, I did the same exact injury on the same exact knee. Torn ACL, torn meniscus, and just like that, I was supposed to be done. But like usual, I kept pushing and pushed through the football season like usual. So let's just say I didn't have the best of luck when football season came around. Even though I had torn my ACL twice, I can look back to those moments and think about the times that I had. After my last game of my senior season, my coach came up to me and said some words that I will never forget. He said, Morrison, no matter what you do, you will never be able to get back the experiences you had on this football field. You gave it your all for this team and showed everyone what you were made of. These words hit me like a truck, and in that moment, I realized something. My knee injury had knocked me down mentally and physically. But I had to make a choice. I could either lay down, give up, or I could keep pushing and make the most out of this experience for myself, my team, and my family. Each and every day we have the opportunity to make a choice to overcome. But it's up to us to make that choice. Even though I've been through a lot, when I was little, getting picked on for doing dancing, overcoming an injury, I can look back to those moments and realize that those are the moments I want to fight for. Whether it be hanging by the pond, having campfires with my friends, hanging at home with my sister, or times when I knew things weren't going my way. If I were to go back and ask my 5-year-old self, where I think I would be in 14 years, what do you think he would say? Do you think he'd pull out his calendar and show me every moment leading up to this day? Or do you think he'd tell me to go out and live my dreams and make the most out of my life? Whether it be football, hanging with friends, overcoming an injury, or traveling the world, we need to live every day like it's our last. Don't let people drag you down. Don't let people get in the way of who you want to be. Don't let people tell you how to live your life. Because I know at the end of the day, after life throws everything, we can fight for what we believe in. Iowa FFA, keep dreaming big and show everyone what you believe in. Because I know at the end of the day, after life throws everything at us, we can overcome.
My life be like,
What's up, Iowa FFA? This is Laken, and with me today is Jody. Today is a special day in which you get to exhibit some chapters from across the state in the annual Iowa FFA North-South Bowl.
You betcha, Laken. We have some outstanding chapters, but first, let's meet the chapters from the north.
Bison FFA Chapter.
Applington Parkersburg FFA Chapter.
Monticello FFA at Monticello.
Storm Lake FFA Chapter.
Acorn Wheatfield.
Colo NESCO at Colo.
Tallcorn FFA.
North Tama FFA Chapter at Traer.
OABCIG.
Beeman Conrad Liscum Union Witten at Conrad.
Turkey Valley FFA Chapter. Gabble gabble.
Hawkeye FFA Chapter, but it's still a Cyclone State. Roll clones, baby.
Ackley, Geneva, Wellsburg, Steamboat Rock at Ackley.
Little Switzerland FFA Chapter at Waukon. Nevada FFA Chapter. New Lafonda.
I don't know what's better than traveling to new places, except for traveling with thousands of fellow FFA members to our nation's capital. This summer, members will get to do just that as they head to Washington, D.C. to attend the Washington Leadership Conference. Every year, the Iowa FFA Alumni supports these members by reviewing applications and awarding scholarships to a few outstanding individuals. The Secretary's desk will now announce this year's recipients.
This year's recipients of the Washington Leadership Conference scholarships are Alberto Cortez from the Lone Tree FFA Chapter and Allie Cromley from the North Polk FFA Chapter at Alleman. Let's congratulate the Iowa FFA Alumni Washington Leadership Conference scholarship winners.
Mr. Gibson, thank you for the support the Iowa FFA alumni gives to each and every one of the members across this great state. Please accept this conference gift as a token of our appreciation. Iowa FFA, please put your hands together one more time for Mr. Nate Gibson and the Iowa FFA alumni.
I-35 at Interstate 35.
ACGC FFA Chapter. Roll charges.
South Tama FFA Chapter. Winner! Set!
Northeast FFA Chapter at Goose Lake.
Central Lee FFA.
Central DeWitt, also known as DeWitt Central.
Central Trail FFA.
Lone Tree FFA Chapter. Lone Tree Iowa.
The FFA Chapter, formerly known as Eddyville.
Hannah Ram FFA Chapter.
Des Moines.
Danville.
Agricultural education throughout the state of Iowa is always expanding and succeeding. These next agricultural educators have exceeded in their field and classroom and are joined by the individuals who made the outstanding effort to nominate them for this award. Here to represent the Iowa Council on Agricultural Education is Iowa Secretary of Agriculture, Mr. Mike Negg. Let's bring out the 2019 Excellence in Agricultural Education winners.
The Advisory Committee Award goes to Melissa Apple from the AgriPower FFA Chapter. She was nominated by Estelle Blam. The Agriculture Career Awareness and the Integration of Science Awards go to Mrs. Bridget Mahoney from Lone Tree FFA. She was nominated by Molly Milder. The Program Promotion and Marketing Award goes to Mrs. Amy Grant from DeWitt Central. She was nominated by Heather Cernick. The Overall Excellence in Agriculture Award goes to Mrs. Bridget Mahoney from Lone Tree. Let's congratulate these individuals on their success in the Excellence in Agriculture Education Award areas.
Secretary Nag, on behalf of the Iowa FFA Association and our over 15,400 members, we'd like to thank you and the Iowa Council on Agricultural Education for all your support and all that you do. Please accept this token of our appreciation. Say, Jake, so what kind of talents do beef farmers have?
Well, Jody, for starters, we're really good at calling in cattle from the herd.
Oh, is that so? Do you care to share the so-called talent?
Watch the sass. All right, I would be much more than obliged. Here's how it's gonna work. You are gonna be my audience. Say, Jody, today we sure do have
Jake,
a big...
would you just get on with your talent, please?
All right. So, boys, come on, girls. Hep, come on now. Hep, come on, girls. Hep.
That is not a talent. That is controlled screaming. Well, now we have the next opportunity to see some real talent. Iowa FFA, please help me in welcoming our third place talent, sponsored by the Iowa FFA alumni, the dancing trio of Belmont Clemming.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more.
I got the horses in the bag, horse stock is attached. Head is matted black, got the bushes black to match. Riding on a horse, ha, you can whip your Porsche. I've been in the valley, you ain't been up off that porch now. Can't nobody.
Growing up with Gwen, with an older sister, we always butt heads. But today, with my speak, I'll talk about how we had each other's back, if it was me cheering her on a dance, or her with me on the mat, or us together in the water.
From being in dance for 15 years together, cross country, 4-H, and FFA throughout middle school and high school, to Gwen coming over every single day after school to go exploring, have girl talk, and make our famous plays, all of that has brought us a friendship that will last a lifetime. Her passion for these will never be like her passion for the blue jacket. She's become a great role model for her younger siblings in our chapter, and I am so proud to call her one of my best friends.
Now presenting your 2018-2019 Southwest State Vice President, Gwen Black.
Picture this. A 7-year-old Gwen with bright blonde, bobbed hair, thick lensed glasses, sitting with my grandpa, eating our favorite snack, pickled herring, watching the History Channel. Now, most 7-year-old girls at the time were obsessed with the color pink and High School Musical. But I spent most of my time with my nose in some history book instead. Friends and teachers would tell me all the time, Gwen, don't spend so much time in the past. You have your whole future ahead of you. But the present wasn't as exciting as the past. There was no tea being thrown in the Boston Harbor or midnight rides warning that the British were coming. As far as I was concerned, the First Continental Army was way cooler than Troy Bolton. Then, on my 8th birthday, my grandparents gave me the best history book I have ever read, the most life-changing historical text, The Lost World of Ancient Egypt. I loved learning how mummies were made, the discovery of King Tut and his golden mask, the lost tomb of Queen Cleopatra, and of course, how the pyramids were built. Forget the American Revolution. I was going to be an archaeologist. I had big dreams of seeing my name in museums everywhere. Gwen Black discovers the long-lost tomb of Queen Cleopatra. Pretty big goal for an 8-year-old Iowa girl, right? Flash forward now, and it's 2018, and I'm still watching the History Channel with my grandpa, but I've left behind my dreams of pursuing archaeology and let history become a hobby. I'm too focused on my future to think about the past. I'm planning for graduation. I have college to think about, dance practice to get to, jazz choir practice in the morning, horses to ride, scholarships to apply for. I have a meeting for this day and a meeting for that day. I am running a mile a minute in one direction and one direction only, forward. Now, you know when you're walking down a hallway and you're so focused at your task at hand that you hit a wall? Well, I hit a wall and went a little like this. Hey, Mom, what's up? You want me to take eggs to Grandma Cleo? Well, I have this assignment I need to finish, and I need to pack to go back to school. Yes, I will take eggs to Grandma Cleo. I turn my car around and am now headed down the road to my great-grandma Cleo's house, trying to think about the last time I saw her.
because it couldn't have been that long. She only lives 20 minutes south of me. Let's see, I saw her at Christmas and Thanksgiving, but I didn't talk long with her while she was there. And I think I saw her a few times this summer, but I didn't go over to make jam like I used to. The longer I thought about it, I couldn't remember the last time I went to go see my grandma and spend quality time with her. I found my way to her door, feeling a little guilty. I am greeted by a warm smile, a big hug, and her tough, tiny Yorkie, Sam. She invites me in, of course, and then begins the best part of my Grandma Cleo's house, the food. She is offering me cookies and chocolates, hot apple cider, and coffee. As I walk down the hall, I continue to feel guilty. I haven't walked these halls in years. As I sit across from my grandma, it feels foreign. But as our conversation over coffee continued, the awkwardness melted away, and I ate up every second of our conversation. It was just like old times when I'd go over to make jam. As my grandma shuffled into the kitchen to pour us another cup of coffee, I began looking at all of the photos. See, my great-grandma Cleo takes photos at every family event to capture every moment. There are hundreds of them. There are photos of my grandma and grandpa's wedding, pictures of my aunts and uncles and mom, dozens of photos of my siblings and I, and finally, just a few photos of my younger sister, Grace. See, Grace, being the youngest of my great-grandmother's grandchildren, had the fewest number of photos. Grace had never been over at Christmas time to learn how to properly frost a sugar cookie, or over in the summer to make jam. Grace was running out of moments with my grandma. And I was running out of moments with my grandma and Grace. I was missing out on watching my baby sister grow up. I had always loved the past and was looking forward to my future. I had stopped enjoying everything that was happening right now. I had stopped taking my time. See, time is a funny thing. We are only given a small amount of time to spend here on this earth with the ones we love, and when they see us running too far forward, they tell us to stop, to slow down, to take your time. We can wish to speed it up in the bad moments, slow it down in the good, but we can't do that. Time doesn't work that way. It's not ours to control. See, time is a commodity. Time is precious. Time is never ending, but we have a deadline. FFA members, we must take the time every day to appreciate every moment. The good, the bad, the big, the beauty, our life, and the lives of those around us. We can enjoy our past and look forward to our futures, but we must appreciate everything happening right now. Iowa FFA, take your time.
I have lipstick, a convention badge, pencil, and some chocolate.
We scratched our names in that oak tree, 'cause I loved you and you loved me. A jagged little heart, so the whole town knew it, carved into the bark with an arrow through it. Well, I came out here to see it one more time, and I got my chainsaw.
It's now time to recognize more members for their outstanding supervised agricultural education programs with our final recipients of Proficiency Awards. The following awards were all made possible with support from our sponsors through the Iowa FFA Foundation. The winner in the area of outdoor recreation, sponsored by the Iowa Trappers Association, is Lane Arrowwood from the Newton FFA chapter. Lane's proficiency explained his learning and working at the Jasper County Gun Club. His duties there included learning safety rules and promoting gun safety. These experiences have developed his interest into being a DNR game warden. Lane is a sophomore at Newton High School. William Rowling from Cascade is the runner-up in this area.
In the area of poultry production, sponsored by the Iowa Poultry Association, our winner is Brett Schoner of the Midland FFA chapter at Wyoming. Schoner has increased his flock size over 50% and has diversified his production operation with each year. He performs care, maintenance, breeding, and egg production duties. His future plans are to attend University of Wisconsin-Platteville and major in animal science. Our runner-up in this area is Chloe Engelbrecht of the North Scott FFA chapter at Eldridge.
The winner in the area of sheep production, made possible by the Iowa Club Lamb Association, is Lydia Johnson from the Southeast Polk FFA chapter at Pleasant Hill. Johnson has invested over 2,000 hours in managing and caring for her commercial ewe flock. She cares for her flock by feeding, bedding, shearing, and vaccinating them. Each year, Johnson raises and shows a portion of her lambing crop. Her future plans are to continue growing the size of her flock. The runner-up in this area is Hannah Reese from the Central Plains FFA chapter at Gowrie.
Alicia Westering of the Manson Northwest Webster FFA chapter is the winner in the area of small animal production and care, sponsored by Diamond Animal Health. Westering is dedicated to raising, breeding, and showing rabbits. She started just 1 year ago and expanded her herd to 68 head of rabbits. Alicia has researched ways to tattoo rabbits and found using a tattoo gun more gentle for her rabbits. She has also conducted research to learn more about disease control and proper precautions for handling rabbits. The second place winner is Will Lapke of the Maquoketa FFA chapter.
In the area of specialty animal production, sponsored by the DeWitt Central FFA Alumni, our winner is Grace Long of the Ballard FFA chapter at Huxley. Long began her project in 2015 by receiving a scholarship from Iowa Honey Producers Association. She received a hive, 3 pounds of bees, and protective equipment. From that investment, she has expanded to 4 hives and markets her honey to businesses in her local community. Her plans after high school are to pursue a career in agriculture. Anna Britt Lean of the South Winneshiek FFA chapter at Kalmar placed second.
Emily Harold of the West Branch FFA chapter is the winner in the area of swine production entrepreneurship, sponsored by the Iowa Pork Producers Association. Harold has developed niche markets for acorn-fed Berkshire pork and sells her pork in 3 states around the country. Emily's plans include attending Iowa State University, double majoring in agriculture business and agriculture communications. The second place winner is Kay Boyson of the Wapello FFA chapter.
Talia Knobloch of the West Lyon chapter at Inwood is the winner in the area of swine production placement, sponsored by Hog Slat Midwest Division. Talia learned some of her skills by working with Pig Hill West, a farrow-to-finish operation. Her 700 hours of experience included taking on increasing amounts of responsibilities in piglet care and developing and applying aspects of animal welfare into her position. Knobloch has been learning and applying disease outbreak management skills. Talia plans to continue her education at a 2-year college where she will study agriculture. Our runner-up in this area is Gabe Cooker from Central Lyon FFA chapter at Rock Rapids.
In the area of turfgrass management, sponsored by the Iowa Turfgrass Institute, our winner is Megan Osborne of the Boone A&M FFA chapter. Osborne began her program at the ISU Dairy Farm and then began working for the ISU Horticulture Research Station in 2017. She conducts mowing and assists with research projects by prepping content of turf management on both scientific and practical applications. Osborne has been collecting data, record keeping, working with confidential information, and budgeting since she first began. After high school, she plans to attend Kirkwood Community College, majoring in animal science, and then transfer to Iowa State University. Our runner-up is Garrett Hansen from the Audubon FFA chapter.
The winner in the area of vegetable production, sponsored by Four Seasons Fundraising, is Grant Evans of the Pilot Creek FFA chapter at Pocahontas. Evans has experience in both placement and entrepreneurship with his sweet corn. He has a variety of skills obtained during this project, including field scouting, pest control, soil fertilization, and cover crop usage to improve soil conditions. Kristen Bayer from the Adel DeSoto Minburn FFA chapter is the runner-up in this area.
Molly Brodal of the Little Switzerland FFA chapter at Waukon is the winner in the area of the veterinary science, sponsored by Iowa State University Pre-Vet Club. Brodal worked 2,354 unpaid hours at Brodal Veterinary Service, where her experiences included working with clients in both the large and small animal area. Brodal plans to attend Iowa State University to major in animal science with the goal of becoming a veterinarian after fulfilling her degree requirements. Our runner-up is Hannah Witten of the Red Oak FFA chapter.
In the area of wildlife production and management, made possible by the Iowa Division Isaac Walton League, our winner is Allison Wood of the Diamond Trail FFA chapter at Monroe. Allison has invested over 600 hours working at the Neil Smith Wildlife Refuge. She has improved her communication skills, tracked wildlife, and learned how to care for seeds to ensure high-quality production. Allison plans to become a nurse after graduation. Our runner-up is Joseph Lauer of the North Fayette Valley FFA chapter at West Union.
The previous awards were all made possible with support from our sponsors through the Iowa FFA Foundation. Please help us in congratulating all of the Proficiency winners one final time.
To go on a shopping spree? It is now time to announce the winner of this session's drawing. The winners of a $50 gift card are Chase Unaki from Moravia, Iowa, Cade Grease from Central Lyon, and Jenny R. from CGD FFA.
I have something that is going to finish this debate once and for all.
Oh boy, here we go again.
Well, I was just backstage, and you'll never believe what I saw. The National FFA President, Luke O'Leary, was eating a nice, big, old, juicy, medium rare steak in preparation for his keynote.
Well, that's pretty cool and all, but Luke just happens to be from California, which is the #1 dairy producing state in the nation. With a background like that, this ought to be a dairy good speech.
That's fair, that's fair. Well, you may have gotten me on that one, Jody, but without further ado, Iowa FFA, please help me and welcome to the stage your National FFA President, Mr. Luke O'Leary.
Iowa FFA. How we doing, Iowa FFA? It is so good to be here. I've had an incredible past few days. So incredible that I've been seeing some incredible dance moves, actually, throughout the session, throughout all of the halls, even. If we think we got the best dance moves in here, let me get a, oh yeah. If we think we could bring some great dance moves to Hilton right now, let me get a, oh yeah. Now, I actually need 3 volunteers right here from the front that thinks they got some good dance moves. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 people come to these stairs right here from the front. 3 people. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give our volunteers a round of applause. We got 3 volunteers. We'll go center stage so everyone can see us nice and well. All right, what's your name? Natasha. Let's give a round of applause for Natasha. What's your name, man? Aaron. We got Aaron. Round of applause for Aaron. And we have Anna. Round of applause for Anna. Now we got to see your best dance moves. Crowd, let's give them some crazy applause. AV, if we can get some music just like we had before, let's see some crazy dance moves. All right, what you got? Oh, oh, oh! We got 10 seconds. Let's count them down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's give our volunteers a round of applause. You guys can head off. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Woo! I'm feeling good. Are we feeling good in here? You know, that feeling that we're feeling right now, hold on to that. That's joy right now, just a little bit. Joy makes me think of some of my best days ever. We all know what that best day ever feeling feels like, right? When you wake up and you know that today is going to be good. One of my best days ever, it looks something like this. I wake up in the morning, real early, but it feels like I just got like 10 hours of sleep. The sun is just peeking up behind the hills by my house. I am feeling good today. I go over to my truck, I grab my dog Moose, who's a Great Pyrenees, which is like a basically giant white polar bear, like that tall, that big. Moose jumps in the back of my pickup truck as we head to the beach, which is about 10 minutes from my house. We get to the beach on the beautiful central coast of California where I'm from. We're going on a jog, just, me and my best friend Moose on the beach, beautiful skyline. It gets a little bit warmer that day, and so we're jumping in and out of the waves, having a good time. Today is just the best. Then I see some friends in the distance. We go hang out with my friends. After hanging out for a while, it's time to head home with Moose. So Moose and I jump back into my car. As we're driving back home to our house, we hear my favorite song ever. So we crank it up, and I put my hands up to play you my song, The Butterflies Fly Away. Not in my, no? Okay. Apparently Miley Cyrus isn't a big fan of Iowa, or I was not a big fan of Miley. I don't know, but whatever your best day ever is, Picture that. Picture that best day ever. Now feel that. That feeling is joy. Now, I am really passionate about joy. It's something that over the past few months, as I began thinking about what message I wanted to share with the FFA members that I came in contact with throughout our country, I couldn't get out of my head. Joy, something that is so powerful to hold on to have in our hearts. I began to do a little bit of research. So, of course, I first turned to one of my most trusted advisors, my best friend, Google, right? Yeah, so I pull out my phone, I type in definition of joy. When you type in definition of joy, up pops the definition. Joy is the feeling of pleasure and happiness. Okay, makes sense, right? That sounds right. I noticed then below that there was another button that said word origins, translations, and more. So naturally, I clicked on it. Up popped a graph. Now on this graph, the line started really high at one side at the start of the graph. As it went across the graph, the line dipped, and ended at the bottom at the end of the graph. After looking just a little closer, I noticed that this graph represented the use of the word joy over time. You see, the start of the graph was about 100 years ago, when the word joy was used really frequently. Halfway through that graph, when it plummeted to the bottom, was about 50 years ago, leading us at the end of the graph to today, where the word joy just isn't really heard that often. Now, this could be attributed to a lot of different factors. Maybe it's just the change of language. We don't use the word joy, but we use other words, like happiness. But happiness and joy are very different things. And I think that many of us would agree that it's not just the word joy that has been lacking in our world today, it's the feeling of joy that has somewhat been lacking throughout our world. Too often when we pull up our phones to see news headlines or get the newspaper or watch the news, we see tragedies, disasters, and we don't see much joy around us. Why? Joy is good for us, so good for us. In fact, in my research, I found that joy is actually healthy. Now, we all love the feeling of joy. There's no doubt about that. But joy actually is good for our bodies, for our physical health. Check this out. There's been like over 150 different studies, research studies, that have shown that joy affects the physical body. Joy can pump our blood better. It gets more oxygen to our lungs. It even burns some major calories and helps our memory function in our brain. Joy affects our bodies. Joy makes us healthy. It changes us at a cellular chemical level. It looks like we can literally be joy. But how? How do we become an emotion, a feeling? It's hard to hold on to joy. I get it. You're probably thinking about right now, Luke, I get it, I agree, joy is good, but it's not easy. And I agree. Life is hard, really hard sometimes. On the good days, those best days ever, like when I get to go run on the beach with my dog Moose, it's easy to find joy. What about those harder days? Those days, we need to work a little bit harder to find joy. But I'm telling you, it's possible. I know this because of a few friends who I've met that have taught me that joy is possible in every situation that we may be facing. It makes me think of one friend of mine that I met at a leadership camp back in my home state of California. You see, Sophia was her name, and she had bright orange hair, freckles all over her face, and a bright smile that complemented her hair perfectly. Sophia exuded joy. Just standing away from her across the room, you could tell that Sophia carried joy in her heart. Sophia was joy. I met her while standing in a big group circle playing volleyball at this leadership camp. Now, we were passing the volleyball from one person to the other, bouncing across the circle, Sophia standing right next to me. As the ball jumped from person to person, finally the volleyball came soaring through the air, straight towards Sophia. I watched her standing next to me, a little scared, a little nervous, but excited that the ball was headed her way. She got her arms ready, the ball was coming, it came towards her, and as she passed the volleyball, she burst out with some giggling and pure joy. Now, standing next to her, I was a little caught off guard why someone was so excited just to pass a volleyball across a group circle. So I turned to her and I said, hey, that was a nice pass. You seem pretty happy about it. She looks back at me and she said, yeah, you know, that's actually the first time that I've passed a volleyball, or really the first time that I've played any sport in years. Even more caught off guard, standing next to her, I decided to ask her a little more about her story later that evening. You see, Sophia shared with me that she's been facing some really hard health challenges. This was Sophia's story. When she was 11, she was in a snow skiing accident, one that left her with a twisted knee and some pretty bad head trauma. And that began to persist. Even after she headed home and doctors said that she would heal and get better, she wasn't. Day after day, week after week, month after month, Sophia faced chronic pain. She began to see her health deteriorate. After numerous doctor appointments and tests, finally, Sophia was diagnosed with something she never thought she ever had to deal with. Sophia has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and fibromyalgia, two health issues that constantly affect her, where her joints will constantly get dislocated and it's easy for her to hurt herself. Some days are better than others, but on some of her tougher days, she can hardly walk across the room. The whole time Sophia shared her story with me, you wouldn't think it would be coming from someone who dealt with these challenges. The entire time, Sophia carried a soft smile on her face and was happy about the things that she could do, not focusing on what she couldn't. She was still excited to share with me that despite her health challenges of sometimes not even being able to walk, Sophia still was excited to be a part of the musical theater productions at her school, show livestock at her county fair, and be a chapter officer in her home FFA chapter of Mercy Red Bluff. Sophia focused on what she could do. Sophia focused on hope for a brighter future beyond her current situation. Through hope, Sophia chose joy. She became joy and was able to even bring joy to those around her, people like me that felt it. Now, it's not just Sophia, it's not just those with health challenges when it's hard to find joy. There are some other situations too. It reminds me of a friend of mine, Nick. I met Nick while I was serving as a state officer when I did a chapter visit in his hometown of Manteca. As I went to his house, the house I'd be staying at for the night, I met Nick as he had open arms, ready to embrace me and welcome me to the house that I was staying at. However, later that night, I learned that that house wasn't Nick's or his family's house at all. In fact, the house was just a friend of Nick's. I learned from Nick his story and his background. When Nick was 11 years old, his brother passed away in a car accident. However, his challenges began far earlier than that, when throughout elementary school, his parents struggled with alcohol abuse and substance addiction. Because of that, Nick practically raised himself, and suddenly at 11 years old, he lost one of his only family members that he could count on. A few years passed, and eventually his parents kicked Nick out of the house. For 2 days, Nick, a sophomore in high school, lived in a park just a couple blocks down from his house. After sleeping in this park for 2 nights, finally, a friend of his at school recognized his situation and invited him to live at their home, the home that I was lucky enough to stay at that night. Many people in Nick's situation might live with bitterness might live with regret, might live with hatred of what has happened to him. But instead, Nick is generous. When I showed up to this home, one that wasn't even his, he showed me a gift basket that he gave to me. One that was full of supplies like toothpaste and deodorant and other things that I could use while traveling on the road as a state officer. Nick chose to look past his challenges through family, choosing to be generous to those around him. Because of that, Nick found joy. Both Sophia and Nick faced tremendous challenges in their lives, but still, they were able to find joy. Now, they didn't do this to ignore the reality of their situation. They recognized that what they faced was tough, that it was hard, that it wasn't going to be easy. But they chose to be joy in the world around them, to remind themselves that their life, it had worth and value despite the hardships that they faced. See, across this world, across this country, the state of Iowa, in this very room, there are people who struggle. Now, I don't assume to know what you're going through, but I know that we all face challenges. There are some who are struggling with hunger, others who are struggling with poverty, those who have been excluded based on their race, gender, or orientation, those who feel like they have nothing. We've all felt moments of pain. Some have more than others. It is our challenge that when we face a hardship in front of us, we decide to look further beyond our current situation and find joy beyond it. Joy for the future. For those of us who maybe aren't facing as much of those challenges, we still have a challenge ahead of us. That challenge is to use the joy that we have to bring it to the lives of others. Joy is good for us, and it is possible. The world around us is constantly in need of joy. Everywhere we look, there are hurting people that could use your joy to bring up their day. Whether it's the best day ever, or maybe not a very good one, we all could use joy in our lives. Now, some of the messages that we share with others often are the ones that we need to learn ourselves the most. I've realized this the past few months. See, I began writing this speech all the way back in January, right about the time that I had a pretty big health scare. Back in January, I had a seizure that resulted in a fractured vertebrae that I still struggle with to this day. Not only that, but a few months later, I found out that I was diagnosed with a mild form of epilepsy. This frustrated me. This upset me. Getting the news that I was going to struggle with health issues at the start of my year of national office, the start of a year that should be my best year ever, and suddenly I have to stay home? I have to struggle with this? It wasn't until the next time that I gave this exact speech at another conference in North Carolina that I realized, Luke, learn from your speech. Learn from Sophia and Nick. If they can find joy in their situations, surely I can find joy in mine. Finding joy that there's hope for a brighter future beyond our current situations. If there's one thing I know, it's this. Joy is good for us, and joy is possible. Be joy, Iowa FFA, because the world needs joy. But you, each of you in this room, you deserve it. Thank you so much, Iowa FFA, for welcoming me to your home.
Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is.
Luke, on behalf of all of Iowa FFA, thank you for showing us the importance in choosing joy. Please accept this conference gift as a token of our appreciation.
Thank you, Jake.
Put your hands together one more time for National FFA President Luke O'Leary.
Yeah, I'm a state officer. Does that matter? You do that for me, really?
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State FFA.
Jake from State FFA at 3 in the morning? I don't think so. Who is this?
It's Jake from State FFA.
What are you wearing, Jake from State FFA?
Khakis?
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so.
All right, Jody. I have something that is going to settle this debate. But before we do that, I think we need to put this to a poll by the audience.
You know, Jake, I think that's a great idea. If you think dairy cattle are the superior type of cows, let me hear it. Woo!
All right, that was pretty average. But if you think beef cattle are the superior type of cattle, let's hear all them cheers. Let's go! Yeah! Woo!
You know, I'd say that's about average, about the same. Yeah. While we may not have come to a conclusion on this, one thing is coming to an end.
That's right, Jody. It is almost time to adjourn this session. In this session, we've been able to witness the amazing accomplishments our members are having all across the state and how they are being part of something much bigger than themselves. Iowa FFA, it is almost time to adjourn the third general session of the 91st Iowa FFA Leadership Conference. And after this, we will have just one more session.
Hey, Jake, I do have one more thing to add.
Jody, I said it was okay for us to agree to disagree on this.
No, Jake, it's not that.
What is this?
It's our day in review slideshow.
I was hoping you might say that. Let's check it out right now.
I'm the son of a third-generation farmer. I've been married 10 years to the farmer's daughter. I'm a God-fearing, hard-working combine driver, hogging up the road on my plower, chugga-lugga-lugging 5 miles an hour on my international harvester. 3 miles of cars laying on their horns, falling on deaf ears of corn, lined up behind me like a big parade of late to work, road rage jerks, shouting obscene words, flipping me the bird. Well, you may be on a state paved road, but that blacktop runs through my payload. Excuse me for trying to do my job, but this year ain't been no bumper crop. If you don't like the way I'm driving, get back on the interstate. Otherwise, sit tight and be nice and quit your honking at me that way. 'Cause I'm the son of a third-generation farmer. I've been married 10 years to the farmer's daughter. I got 2 boys in the county 4-H. I'm a lifetime sponsor of the FFA. Hey, that's what I make. I make a lot of hay for a little pay. But I'm proud to say I'm a God-fearing, hard-working combine driver, hogging up the road with my flower, chugging, lugging 5 miles an hour on my international harvester.
talk about an uphill battle, 2,000 acres of beans and cattle. But he don't ever get rattled, he just goes till the sun goes down. Hydraulic fluid on his jeans, red dye diesel and 10 rows between, a cold one on the porch and a good night's sleep. Y'all hold 'em up with me now. Here's to the farmer that plants the fields in the spring, that turn from green to that harvest honey. Hold one up for the banker downtown.
Madam Secretary, do you have a record of any further business which should now be transacted?
I have a few announcements at this time. All Iowa FFA degree recipients need to report to the north steps of Hilton Coliseum immediately after this session for the Iowa degree photo. Chapters need to go backstage to pick up their flags. And if you have lost any items during the course of convention, the lost and found is located behind the secretary's desk.
Thank you. Does any member know of any new or unfinished business which should properly come before this meeting? We are about to adjourn this, the third general session of the 91st Iowa FFA Leadership Conference. As we mingle with others, let us be diligent in labor, just in our dealings, courteous to everyone, and above all, honest and fair in the game of life. Fellow members and guests, join me in a salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance. I now declare this session adjourned.